All right, guys, you know this man from, he's always coming on the program. We're always talking about fights, doing watch-alongs, all sorts of stuff. But how proud am I to have him on right now to celebrate the big return. In the immortal words of John Wick, they keep asking me if I'm back. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. The one and only Beneil Dariush is in the house.
Hey,
Woo!
what's up, brother?
Brother, it's all happening, man. It's all happening. You're at the MGM pool with the family, a well-deserved celebration.
Yeah, I took a little break from them in the sun, man. My eyes can't really handle it right now.
Dude, there is so much to talk about. Your battery life is low, so I'm going to get straight into it, and it will switch around back and forth because that's what happens with your phone. It's got a mind of its own. But let's get into the big win just yesterday at UFC 317. You versus Moicano. Take me into the fight, man. First things first, that first round, right? You were getting, it was a battle back and forth. You and Moicano trading. He was able to knock you down at one point. Take me through that first round. What was it like for you to be back and overcome that moment to come back and win this fight?
I mean, it's good to overcome adversity, but I was really frustrated with it. I thought I was in control of the first round. You know, if it wasn't for that knockdown, I really think I would have won the round. So that was frustrating. And then also part of the game plan in the first round was to go for takedowns, and I didn't do that. So that's another thing that's frustrating. So just things to remember that I could do better next time. Follow the game plan. Stay on the outside of the foot. Stuff like that. And then round two, kind of we started to follow the game plan more. Go for a takedown. Actually, he shot in on me, but forced the grappling more. And round three, same thing. Forced the grappling more, and then just kind of mix it up. I felt I was a better mixed martial artist, and I was able to prove that.
What was going on in the moment when he knocked you down? How hurt were you? Tell me what you were feeling.
I don't know. It was a good punch. I wasn't like I wasn't where you would if I was still standing, I don't think I'd have like shaky legs. But he caught me in a way where I went down. So right away I responded by wrestling, trying to grab his legs and wrestle. It wasn't one of those situations where I was super shaky, but at the same time, it obviously did enough damage to knock me down. I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes I've been hit harder while standing, if that makes sense. But I was able to basically recover by the end of the round.
You know what's interesting, though? Obviously, you never want to get knocked down. You want to go out there and execute your game plan. But before this fight, you told me there were questions you wanted answered when you walk into that octagon. And even though you took the shot, even though you got knocked down, you recovered quickly. Like you were able to take the shots. Were you, I guess, in a silver lining kind of situation, kind of like, okay, like, this is a tick for me. Like I can take these shots. I can do this. I can come back. Like, was that like a silver lining there?
Yeah, absolutely. That would definitely be the silver lining of it. That I can face adversity and get through that. But also, the coach part of me comes out and all the things I could do better. So it's just one of those things. It is what it is.
What are some of the other things that you were able to test about yourself in this fight? You had questions going in here. What are some of the other answers you were able to get from this fight?
I used to think long layoffs were not an issue, but man, there were some things I felt like I was making like amateur mistakes on. For example, I don't normally do a lot of seatbelts until I have both hooks in. I break people down more. Just little things that I don't know why I kept doing it. I kept making the same mistake over and over again. So those are things I have to get back and fix. But besides that, nothing too crazy. It's just little things here and there that could have made that fight. I could have either got a finish or it would have been like a 30-26 kind of deal.
Dude, you're being too hard on yourself. I'm saying the positives. What are some of the positives, man? Like, for example, physically, dude, you looked incredible. Like, in terms of shape-wise, you were able to, you shot in, you kept the grappling going all 3 rounds. You looked fresh in there. What are some of the positives that you were able to pick up from this performance and getting back into that octagon?
Positives. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was able to somewhat mix it up in round 2 and 3 well. Those were good. And overall, I just felt physically stronger there. That's one thing I would say. Physically, I felt much stronger than him. Not that I'm ever feeling like I'm not physically strong against somebody, but just in particular this fight, I didn't feel like he had anything for me as far as grappling.
To me about the moment that you spoke with Joe Rogan after the fight. It was one of my favorite post-fight speeches in quite some time. You were overcome with emotion and joy. This road back to the victory for the people that don't get to really follow fighters outside of the octagon has been a difficult one for you. You were supposed to come back a couple of times. It didn't work out. You overcame injuries. You also overcame the questions that you had for yourself and the fans had for you, right? Like some people just wrote you out after the last 2 losses and didn't think you can get it done. Stepping in there and getting that win, overcoming adversity in the first round. Take me into that moment with Joe Rogan as you were doing that post-fight speech.
Yeah, it was a very emotional moment for me. Obviously, haven't had a victory in a long time, and I've been coming off 2 losses. Wasn't sure if I was going to continue to do this if I lost. So definitely an emotional moment, but everything that came out just came from the heart. Is the best way I can put it. You know, I don't really know how else to say it.
What were you feeling in the moment as you were talking to Joe? Was it relief? Was it excitement? Like what was going through your mind, through your body as you were talking to him?
I don't know. I wouldn't say maybe relief. I'm not sure. It's a weird feeling. Because I was also really frustrated. I don't know if you remember. So it was like a mixed bag of feelings. The relief was in there, frustration was in there. Obviously, happy that I got the victory. All that.
The division is hotter than ever. I got to ask you, man, after this one, what are we thinking? Is there a name that stands out for you? Like, I know Holloway is about to fight Poirier. Maybe if Holloway loses, that could be a good fight, or wins, it could be a good fight. Got Dan Hooker in the division.
Yeah,
Anybody that stands out to you?
ranked ahead of me, I think Dan Hooker is the one that stands out the most. Gamrot is there as well. Obviously, he's ranked ahead of me.
No, Gamrot. Don't say that. I'm
So
going to take this bit out of the interview. No more Gamrot rematches.
well, I mean, it's not,
Up.
you know, well,
Going
he's
up.
ranked higher, just ranked higher. But yeah, it would be Dan Hooker. It would be Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier. Obviously, Dustin's retiring. It would be those guys. I would love rematches with Charles Oliveira and Sarukian, but we'll see. I just need an opportunity with somebody ranked higher than me. And if it's Gamrot, it's Gamrot, man. I'm not like it's not a fight I'm afraid of. You know what I mean?
Of course, you're not afraid of any fight with anyone. I'd love a Sarukian rematch. It looks like he's got nothing to do now. What did you make of the fact that, I want to get your thoughts on the Ilia Topuria fight, but what did you make of the fact that Paddy Pimblett went into that octagon straight after, and that's the next fight? You and me, we were kind of debating who is Paddy Pimblett going to fight to get this title shot. I guess the answer now is nobody.
Yeah. So it really surprised me because I thought um, I really thought they would find somebody else. But I think the fact that the week of the fight, Ilya talked about Paddy, I think that kind of put something there. And then they had him come inside that cage. I'm not sure what they're gonna do, I wouldn't be surprised if they make the Paddy fight happen, just because it could sell tickets.
Let's just play like early preview here. Paddy Pimblett, he improved a lot in his last fight over an aging Michael Chandler. How would you see a Paddy Pimblett go against Ilia Topuria? Can he take the shots to implement his game? Because he does move forward. His guard's not the tightest. You'd imagine Ilia will land on him, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a tough fight for Paddy, and I'm not, he's a good fighter. I just think Ilya's elite, and so I don't know if Paddy's quite that elite, and we'll see.
Who do you think should be fighting for the title?
I mean, realistically, it makes sense for Arman to get the title shot because he's the one who beat Charles Oliveira. I know he had that hiccup, so I think he's the one that makes the most sense.
Hmm. Well, let's talk about, by the way. Oh, before I move off this Paddy Pimblett fight, are you surprised though that Ilia Topuria wants Paddy Pimblett here? It seems like he's doing the Pimblett fight, right? Waits to see what happens with Islam and JDM, and then he's potentially going to try and pivot to that. It doesn't seem like he's going to hang around your division for long.
Maybe. I mean, it seems to me he wants the biggest fights, and uh, surprisingly, Paddy is the biggest fight outside of. I guess Dustin Poirier would be the guy I can think of. That's either Dustin Poirier or Justin Gaethje. Those are the two biggest fights in our division. Because Charles was the other one that was the biggest fight.
Hmm. I got to ask you, you were around Ilia Topuria this fight week. Did you guys have any conversations? I imagine he'd be a big Beneil Dariush fan. Did you guys have any run-ins?
I shook his hand and his brother as well. I know Guram somewhat, and he's a super nice guy. So I got to talk to Guram more than anybody, one of his training partners. And Topuria seemed like a very chill guy all week, just training and focusing on the task at hand. He's very locked in the week of the fight. It seemed like.
All right, guys, before I get back to the interview, I just want to thank my sponsor, Manscaped, for making this program possible. Did you guys know with a code word submission, you guys could save 15% off? That's 15% off plus free shipping from all of the great products on the Manscaped website. But I want to talk to you guys about the Chairman Pro. The Chairman Pro is a high-tech, data-approved grooming upgrade, which is perfect for the Father's Day over there in America. But if it's not Father's Day, it is an electric face shaver that can tackle up to 5 days of growth and features 2 interchangeable blade heads. It's waterproof. The battery life is awesome, up to 75 minutes of runtime on a single charge, but it also showcases the battery level so you know when it's time to recharge with a display. Of course, it's got the travel lock, the LED spotlight, and most importantly, the 2-year warranty the Manscaped comes with. Manscaped, of course, has the Lawnmower 5.0, the Beard Hedger, and all sorts of other products. Some of the most comfortable underwear out there as well. So go to manscaped.com, use the code word submission, get 15% off and free shipping today. And guys, I also want to talk to you about our friends at Saily. That's right, Saily, the best eSIM on the market today. What is an eSIM? Let's say you're traveling, you need to make phone calls, you need to download data, you need to be able to use your phone. Don't line up in a stupid queue and replace your SIM card, lose your current SIM card, and sign up to some plan that lasts for months. Use Saily today. You just have to download the app. You just choose the location where you're at. You choose the amount of data that you want, and you are sorted, my friend, to use your phone wherever you go, whatever country you go to. It's easy to use. Like I said, all you need to do is just download the app. You avoid roaming costs, never ran out of data because you're able to update it and increase it wherever you go. It's one eSIM for all of your trips, so you don't have to change SIMs everywhere you go. And it's got global and regional plans as well. Get up to 100 gigabytes of data or as little as 1 gigabyte of data for a week or half a year. Saily is your place to go for everybody out there who's looking for an eSIM. So download the Saily app now and use the code submission or go to saily.com/submission. The link is in the description below and you guys get an exclusive 15% off your first purchase. That's 15% off your first purchase. Try Saily today. And now back to the program. He threw a victory celebration the day before the fight, Benil.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Did you see this? No.
No.
Nah, he threw a whole victory celebration before the fight. I got to ask you, shaking his hand and being around him, what do you think of him at lightweight? Obviously, we had some questions about him being too small. When you see him up close, what was your vibe on him when you got a chance to be actually around him?
Yeah, obviously, I still don't think he's a big lightweight, but it doesn't seem like he needs to be a big lightweight to get the job done. Clearly, he just took out Charles Oliveira, a legend in the lightweight division, and I don't know who's next for him. I just don't know who could fight him next.
Yeah. This is, by the way, the celebration I was talking about. So you were focused in on your fight, but this was a day before the fight with Charles Oliveira. This is Ilia Topuria and his team celebrating. Isn't that funny? The guy is so dialed in. I think his mental game is pretty impressive. So who do you think, outside of yourself, who do you think gives him the toughest fight in the division?
Could be Armand. Could be Justin Gaethje maybe if Justin is fight smart. Actually, Gamrot stylistically very hard to knock out and constantly keeps coming at you. I would put Gamrot up there for sure. I would actually put Gamrot probably ahead of Armand.
You know what's interesting as well? Obviously, you've got this win. You got a chance to be on the same card with him. Was a part of you? It would have been hard for you not to be like, oh man, if I was in there with him, this is what I would do. You know, especially after being on the same card and seeing him do what he did to Charles.
You do that with every fighter, like every fight. Like you think to yourself, how would I approach this fight? Any fight I watch, I think to myself, how would I approach this? How would I approach that? So yeah, I would definitely, I definitely had some ideas. I don't know if my ideas will work. Obviously, he's such a great fighter, but I definitely have ideas.
Can you share one of the keys that you would have about fighting him? Like how you think you could win?
A lot of fakes and always stay at a distance that is out of his power. Easier said than done. Obviously, you don't want to enter into that chaos zone, in that middle zone. That's actually why I think Justin Gaethje might do well, or it would be basically a car crash, like he says, because he would either land or Topuria will land, and obviously I would probably lean towards Topuria, but that's why I think he has a possible chance of winning.
Let's talk about the big main event. Are you surprised at what Charles did in that main event? Like, do you think he approached this one correctly, or was it always going to be a situation where Ilia was going to land on him regardless because of the way he fights?
I would have preferred if he fought like he did Chandler. Very safe on the outside, used his kicks, used his knees. Like, that's a great way to fight. I was surprised he was so aggressive.
And we've got him finishing Volkanovski. We've got him finishing Max Holloway. And the way that he finished Charles Oliveira was different. Like the look in Charles's face from that knockout. Were you even shocked at the power that Ilia Topuria is able to have in the division? Like it completely transferred over from featherweight.
I wasn't shocked wasn't the word. I just felt bad for Charles.
Yeah.
Like, it's just sad to see somebody get knocked out like that. Obviously that's our sport, but I don't want to see it.
Yeah, it was shocking to see him that knocked out, right? Like we've never seen Charles look like that before.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I can't think of he may have been knocked out before. I just can't think of it right now.
When you see the way that he was able to go through Charles Oliveira, does it change your opinion on how a fight with Islam Makhachev would look if Ilia Topuria moves up to welterweight and fights him at 170?
Yeah, I still think Islam is so big and he's going to have such an advantage. And Islam's not going to fight the way Charles fought, where he's so aggressive. You know what I mean?
What do you think Islam would do to sort of neutralize?
Keep the distance, throw kicks, look for the takedown, and repeat that until, he has success.
All right, man. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go because you're at the pool. You're celebrating right now. But as we wrap up, I mean, dude, is there a timeline? Like, when do you want to be back in there? I know you're still recovering. It's kind of a cliche question, but, you're in this great position in the division. Are you just now looking out just to see what the next big fight is? Like, what is your game plan now? And ideally, when do you want to be back in there?
I think November, December makes sense. I think I can. I can heal up and come back November, December. This year would be ideal.
Perfect, dude. All right, November, December. That could be that big MSG Islam Makhachev JDM card, right? That will be fantastic. One of the biggest cards of the year. You're going to have to pay a lot of money in tax to New York, but regardless, it's going to be a historic night. Dude, congratulations to you. I know your victory yesterday inspired a lot of people going through it. I know your speech really meant a lot to a lot of people. And I know how much work you put into your career and how much work you put into this comeback. And congratulations, man. It was really cool to see you pick up this win. Renato Moicano, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for giving me the time as well. I appreciate you.